brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hello, everyone. And good old boy Dave is just laughing at me. So, this is a special edition of a Suds episode. This is our best of 2017. Yay.
Yay.
No? Yay?
This won't be the best episode of 2017, but it's the best of episode.
I think the important thing here is we made it to the end. Good job, guys.
Good
Almost.
We did
job.
it.
Yes.
We're getting there.
Looks like we made it.
Exactly. Okay. With me today is good old boy Dave. Say hello.
My mouth tastes like blood.
It's
don't know how to
probably a
take-
personal.
Yeah, it might be a personal issue. Good old boy Kendall is at the table.
And it's been a great 2017 and glad to be here with you.
Good old boy Sparky is at the table.
Hi.
Hi. Good old boy Reverend Mark is at the table.
Hey, how is everybody?
And good old boy Tim is at the table.
Waiting for my sound effects here.
Hey, there we go.
This episode is brought to you by
Stuff and things. Do you like stuff? Do you need things? Well, we'll come on down to stuff and things. We have more stuff than anyone, and our things are competitively priced. We even have crackers to chew on. Stuff and things, things and stuff, stuff and things and stuff and things. Now with more crackers.
Okay, well, 2017 is almost over, and now it's time to reflect. No reflection music there? No.
We didn't actually pay him enough for that.
Oh, we did.
It was
So you
not
don't
in-
get reflection
It
music.
wasn't in the budget.
Okay, so it's time to reflect on people, places,
and things.
and beer. But most importantly, beer. That really stood out for us
Who
this
needs
year.
people when you have beer?
Right. We've all tried so many great beers. It would be hard to pick a top 1, 3. Well, heck, I mean, top 100, maybe. And even that's going to be tough. So we're going to go around the table and just talk about what made a really great beer year for each and every one of us. So, good old boy Dave, since we are going to be drinking a few beers today, would you please give us a Suds rating?
Sure, we'll be rating and discussing some beers today with these Suds ratings plus our signature belching sounds. Here are those ratings now. 1, that sucks. Give me anything but a Tim. 2, was that a belch?
Didn't see that one coming.
3, what a relief. 4, the body should really not make that sound. And 5, listen to that hang time, give me another. That is how you wreck an episode before it starts.
That was cold.
Colder than the beer?
Colder than the cold Rockies. I don't know.
I can't even say anything.
I
Okay.
can't even.
No, I can't even. All right. Why don't we just get this whole party started? Good old boy Dave, why don't you start with your top things?
I didn't want to go first, but okay. So people, for people, my top beer person of 2017, and this will probably be the only time I see really nice things about him, is good old boy Mike, who could not be here today. However,
Aww.
stop it. So if anyone who goes back and looks at all the Sip Suds and Smokes episodes, especially on Spreaker or on our Sip Suds and Smokes app, yes, that is a plug. If you look at the very earliest episode on there, it is from December 30th, 2012, which is, so we are pretty much at our 5-year mark for Sip Suds and Smokes. So for anybody who knows about podcasts, 5 years is a pretty long time to have something like this keep going. Julieanna and I started in 2013, kind of on a whim. They were looking for some fill-in hosts, and we've been part of it ever since. And it's really been a great opportunity for us to meet a lot of people, go to a lot of places, and try a ton of really great beer. So all props to Mike for making it happen and keeping it happening.
Amen.
Amen.
So I'll give Mike a Suds rating of 5.
Oh, man. You know that's going straight to his head.
Yeah. He was in the running for my favorite people, too. He's a favorite person among many at the table.
There you go.
I mean, anyone that just brings you beer and gives you great beer to drink, they're going to have to do a lot to make you not like them. And Mike really tries. He tries. God, he tries so hard.
Yeah. But, we still love you, Mikey. So that is my people. Oh,
My people?
no, you look like you want to say something.
I'm good.
Yeah, I got a lot to say. Mike and I go back 30
Yeah, say
years.
something. All right, well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And so it just was amazing as we started talking about this show. I mean, this was his idea, of course, but as I'm listening to his kind of the visual direction of the logo and how we sort of process that, and
Well, you were on the first episode, right? It was you and
I
him.
was, yeah. And also I was able to take part in some of the cigar and scotch episodes as well. But
yeah, I mean, this show is like way bigger than beer. I mean, he does beer, wine, cigars, hot chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Kendall's been in on some of that hot
Sparky
chicken.
was on the hot chicken
that
show.
was our first episode together.
Yeah, it was so good.
The hot chicken.
Yeah.
Not the next 12 hours after that episode.
It was a rough evening.
that was a tough 12 hours.
Yeah.
And we just did that huge gin episode, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still coughing up juniper.
So there's
Yeah.
really cool stuff coming out all the time, even now. So 5 years later. So it's a really cool thing. Okay. So now that was people. Okay. Places. So I really kind of struggled with this one because Julieanna and I have gone a lot of different places this year, beer wise, for the show, and then just as part of the the beer bloggers conference and different things. I'm gonna say that the FunkFactory Geuzeria in Madison, Wisconsin would be my place. In fact,
Woohoo.
we have a bottle of Meerts. They're probably flagship beer with us today, and it is a really solid beer. But it was just a cool place, and it was one of the first stops on a really awesome trip that we took, and it was a really great vibe and everything. I don't know if any of you guys have been, but
No, I haven't.
yeah, but Madison, Wisconsin in general is cool.
Madison is an amazing beer town, but I never made it to the Funk Factory.
Yeah.
Where my wife is from.
There you go. See, all great things come from Madison.
Hell yes.
So make sure that the next time you're in Madison, Wisconsin, go to
New Glarus is up that way, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
About 20, 30 minutes outside of town.
Yep. So pick up a big old case of Spotted Cow and then head to the Funk Factory. That's what we did. Okay, so now my thing. My thing is in my pants. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's
Wow.
really not. And unfortunately, just be thankful you're on radio and you can see that.
Yes, the under the table cam is not working. So my
Thanks, Comcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
my beer thing is, and I was because I know a lot of us have been to some of the same festivals and different events and stuff, but to me, my beer thing is just it kind of goes back to Sip Suds and Smokes and being on the podcast and just all the opportunities that I've gotten. So I guess it is Sip Suds and Smokes is my beer thing because I'm not trying to be too big of a homer for it and everything, but if it was not for this podcast, I wouldn't have met most of you guys, and then I wouldn't have gotten to try like a bazillion great beers, go to GABF every year, and the Beer Bloggers Conference. So all these great things I would not get to do if it wasn't for the podcast. So Sip, Suds, and Smokes is the thing that made 2017 a great beer year for me.
Hear, hear.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Stop making it all mushy.
And he just, this whole time, he's been making a needle point that just actually says the same
I
thing.
stuck my thumb.
Is this your way of asking Mike for a raise?
Dude, you'd have to come up with a better way than this.
Yeah, what's 10% of nothing?
I'm going from squat to squat and a half. And so then finally my beer, I know I talked about Mirtz for a second, but the beer for 2017 for me, and it's not because this is the best beer I had or the most mind-blowing or profound beer that I've had. It was the Cherry Berliner Weiss from Northcoast. And the reason I picked this beer is because a lot of times when you're like us and you try a ton of beers all the time and there's new breweries coming out and everything, you forget that some breweries are more than just one-trick ponies. When you think of North Coast, at least I do, it's all about Old Rasputin. And then we found out that they could make these Berliner Weisses, and it's like, dude, it's a really good beer. It's really affordable, and you can get it in a ton of places. So that's my beer of the year. There you go.
Wow.
And I give it a Suds rating of 4. I can't hit the button. I'm too emotional. Couldn't see the button through the tears.
And I completely echo that too. We had a special night at a local restaurant, and I didn't even know about this beer until it was brought to us, and it completely blew me away. And since then, I've tried a couple other versions, and
they're good.
They are. Mm-hmm. We'll be right back after this brief interlude.
Rolling clouds and crashing surf, iridescent dunes reflecting by the light of a rising, glowing moon. Seashore mesmerizing, night breeze hypnotizing. We've come across these back roads none too soon. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling. Wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows. My hand is yours forever, sweet love.
Welcome back, everyone. This is our best of 2017. And good old boy Dave was talking about his best things. I believe he is done with his best things.
Yeah, I'm over.
You're over?
2017's over. Dead to me now.
All right, great. Moving right along. Good old boy Kendall, why don't you tell us about your best things of this year?
My best
People, places, and things.
People, places, and things, and beer. So I was thinking about this, and a lot of times when we think of our best beer of the year, we throw out this really special, rare beer, and I want to go with that as far as one of them, but with a really quick honorable mention, what a daily drinker the Uinta Lime Pills was.
Oh, yeah.
I crushed that stuff all summer long, and you could buy it anywhere. It was delicious.
Good go-to, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good daily drinker. For my special beer, though, I'm a member of the Sierra Nevada Alpha Hop Society, and it's their bottle club, and I've been impressed with everything they do. Sierra is just top-notch in quality. Everybody knows that. But they had a beer. It was called the Barrel Aged Chico-Style Wild Ale, and just one of the best sour wild ales, especially coming from America, that I've had. It really reminded me of Drie-Fontein Goose, so it was that good.
Wow.
So I think Sierra did a great job. That would definitely be a 5 in my book if I were going to give it a score. For my place, it's also in Wisconsin. We were up there on the same trip for the Beer Bloggers and Writers Conference.
Yeah, man.
We got to go in the old beer caves at Miller Brewing Company.
Oh, dude, that was cool.
And what a treat that was. Shout out to Lisa Zimmer and the whole Miller team. Man, they were great hosts, and it was cool drinking Miller High Life at Miller. But what's really cool about it is the history. Milwaukee, I go to a lot of beer towns, but they're new beer towns. Milwaukee's been a beer town since pretty much the Civil War.
Since it's been a town.
Yeah, pretty
really,
much.
Yeah.
So these beer caves were used in the 1800s before refrigeration to lager the beer. So they would brew the beer, put it in barrels, and then stick it down in these caves. And we got to go down in the cave for a little get-together. It was just spectacular. That cave was amazing.
Great sense of history.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Place, yeah.
So that was my favorite place. What
do they do with the caves now?
What's an event space?
Okay.
Well, one of them is. It's been cleaned up. There's a couple that are, I think, in still pretty rough shape that they haven't done anything
They
to.
keep people who ask too many questions in some of them.
Yeah, you just asked too many questions. Okay. Disregard that.
I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of great people in the industry. Ran into Garrett Oliver and Sam Calgione at GABF. But I think the special one for me this year was sitting down with Frank Boon from Belgium to talk about wild beer for like 30 minutes.
So cool.
That was great. One-on-one with Frank Boon. And I've got it recorded. I'm transcribing it. And now this gives me some incentive to finish that up. So that interview will be posted on my blog at beermix3.com, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome.
So Frank was just gracious as could be. Him and his son sat down with me, and we talked about making goose in Belgium,
awesome,
the
man.
old school way.
Guy's been making great goose like my entire lifetime, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, and if I may interject for a second. So on that same tour, I got to hang out with him just randomly for a few minutes. As we were in the caves, the cool thing about the caves is that they had a lot of the tools that they had used, the Coopers had used back in the day. So for some reason, I was like towards the end of the line, and he was looking at the wall, and we got to talking for a couple minutes, and he was explaining to me every one of those tools, and he was even blown away.
Wow.
By what they had and how in such good shape they were, considering how old they were. Yeah. And you could tell that man has a lot of love for what he does. And it just made him so happy to see those same tools, because that's almost a lost art now.
Yeah.
To have Coopers there on site to make their own barrels. That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great just sitting down and talking with him. I can't wait to share that with the world. He's a really, really great guy. And event, boy, it's hard to say. I've been to so many between GABF and Shelton Fest and Beer Bloggers Conference and the Beer Marketers Conference.
Nuit Belge.
Nuit Belge all over the Southeast. I think my favorite, though, of those, of all of that, was going to New Orleans, which I really haven't been to since I was a child. And getting to experience New Orleans as an adult
is amazing.
The food culture, the beer culture,
really
just a great city. Polly Watts at Avenue Pub, their motto is open 24/7, 365, unless they're in Belgium. They are. It's a great spot, and we spent a lot of time at Avenue Pub, and that might be just my favorite thing to do all year. Is just
that's awesome, dude.
Go to New Orleans and hang out and get to know the people.
Sweet. Good deal.
What were the Suds ratings of this? I'm just kidding.
I think 5 is across the board, huh?
Yeah, that was true.
Good old boy Sparky. Let's go to you now.
So, yeah, I couldn't really...
What are you doing?
I couldn't really break it down to, like, specific people, places, or things. So I think these are some of the most significant things, at least, that happened to me over the last year. So the first thing was the fact that
I was going to say Sparky became a man.
I did. It's true. Finally happened. That was my voice changed. I'm really excited about that. Not as much as it maybe could have, but
something dropped.
Yeah.
I meant the octave of his voice.
It's true.
Wow,
Mic drop. Yeah, it happened. But no, so one thing that I thought was kind of exciting and just for us, more locally is just some of the beer laws evolving, in the Southeast. You know, Georgia finally, actually everybody in Georgia is going to hell because they can now sell beer on premise at breweries. I know. It's
Really?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's why.
But yeah, so that happened. I think they still have their terrible alcohol cap. I think they're like stuck at like 12% or something like that,
stupid.
13%. But and then here in Tennessee, we the definition of high gravity beer went from 6.3, which is insane. That's so low, to 10.2. So 10.1, 10.2. So
the alcohol level in my blood usually stays at about 6.5.
yeah, you were illegal in this state for pretty much all of the time.
You illegal.
Yeah, but so no, it's been really exciting to kind of see some of those things catch up. Same thing happened in Mississippi. I think Mississippi went through a very similar thing where they were allowed to finally have on-premise brew pubs. Lazy Magnolia and those guys finally got the ability to serve. Who would have thought that a brewery could sell beer at its own?
Everybody got sick of being jealous of Alabama and Kentucky, so we're like, screw you guys.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Alabama is doing plenty to keep itself down there. That's right. We're banned in Alabama, suckers.
Banned once again.
Isn't it great that Alabama's there to always pick on? It's always there, just in case you need somebody further down the totem pole to kick. God bless them all. No, but so that to me has just been very exciting, and just kind of seeing this evolution of the laws and how that's helped, you know, consumers and the industry.
Absolutely, man.
It's just given. I know here in Tennessee we've just been inundated with new brands and new choices that we've never had before, and it's exciting. What a time to be alive.
I'm drunk.
So actually, one of my favorite things this year was actually something that Kendall alluded to, was the Shelton Brothers Festival. I thought it just full clarity. I thought it sucked ass in 2016. It was awful. It was so bad. It was like being shoved into a shipping container with
awesome beer.
9 trillion neckbeards. It was insane. It was awful.
Hey,
well, you stop before you get to the trim. I haven't shaved in a couple of days.
Sometimes.
Technically.
Not
maybe
always.
that's just someone who can't
You
grow.
only
a
see me on the
neckbeard.
weekends.
You know?
But yeah. Anyway, but no, it was miserable. It was just terrible in Louisville at Cooper and Kings or whatever it was. But this year it was in a great wide open
huge,
space.
yeah.
Food was plentiful. God, I just can't.
Men and women in the same bathroom.
Shelton hired good help.
I wasn't even going to go there, but now
Shameless
that
plug.
you mention it, yeah.
No, that did make a big difference. Though.
Yeah, the bathrooms were, God, I'm sorry. I'm like a bathroom freak, so I don't like waiting in lines, and I get like all germophobic and stuff. And the fact that they had nice, clean, fast bathrooms, I didn't care about genders. It's just that it was, in and out fast. And
Sparky does look good in a body condom.
It's true. It's true. I can't touch anything, but yeah, that was a great event, and to me, just such a huge improvement, and so many cool beers. What is that cherry wine? What is that stuff?
I don't remember, but I've
You know what
got
I'm
some
talking
at
about.
home.
Oh,
That's
get outta
delicious. The cherry wine from Denmark. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went out and got some bottles. Yeah,
It hasn't hit Tennessee yet, which is just a hate crime against it. Come on, Shelton Brothers, shove it down whoever's got. Just bring it to us.
But they have made a big difference in Tennessee since they came back.
Oh
too.
my God, yes, absolutely. And apparently in the Carolinas, those big I don't know if you guys saw it, the big glass thing full of the cherry wine. Apparently that's just like totally commonplace in some places in North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
At
Wow.
bars where you just Oh yeah. Like we don't have that. We could have that, but we don't. And I would pay them like $40 just to put my mouth under the spigot.
Hook you up to it, yeah.
wheeze the juice.
I would do that. I would absolutely do that. But so I'm a total cherry slut, and that I can't remember the name of that. It's more of a winery, I think, than a.
It is.
Yeah, it was the only wine at
It's
the festival,
so
but
good.
it was excellent.
God, that stuff is incredible. It's not too expensive either. It's really pretty reasonable
Yeah.
considering what it is. But yeah, that whole fest was fantastic. There was some really cool stuff. Pasteur Street Brewing from Vietnam had some really cool beer, and I'd never heard of that in my life. Didn't know it was a thing.
There was a killer Chinese brewery there too.
That Chinese brewery was excellent.
Yep.
Dude, that stuff was, and apparently like there's like the guy said there's like 14 craft breweries in Shanghai, and like when you hear about how much snow that is produced in snow, the Chinese beer is produced and consumed, like it's not even like a fraction of a fraction. Like,
hey, China, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So that to me was a big high point. And then from a beer standpoint, speaking of Garrett Oliver, he wrote an article not too long ago that just really, well, no, I don't think that was him that wrote, he wrote the Instagram beer thing, but I read an article just recently talking about, Pilsners and lagers. And that is just where I am right now. Like, the Uinta was fantastic. There was, I had one out of second shift in St. Louis this week. Technical ecstasy from, that stuff was
Czech Pilsner? Right?
Yeah,
that
man.
beer's great.
It was really good. I had this great Dortmunder lager from Braxton up in Kentucky. I mean, that stuff is just, I remember drinking Dortmunder Union a really, really long time ago. I don't even know if you can get that around anymore, but I've always loved that style. And then, Kendall, it's all your fault that we get unfiltered Pilsner Cal, and like,
oh, wow.
It just gives you, it really is.
Yeah.
This is a great story. So Kendall was at the Beer Bloggers Conference in 2016.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
2016, physically threatened Lisa Zimmer. Not true.
No.
But they had a keg of unfiltered Pilsner Cal.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they keg this beer. It's unfiltered, unpasteurized Pilsner Cal. They fly it over, and you've literally like refrigerated straight from Pilsen and in the Czech Republic, and then it's got to be consumed incredibly quickly, like within a couple weeks.
Yep. And actually, a large Czech man straps it to his body.
It's true.
Flies it over.
Goes right through TSA that way. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. But so Kendall hounded Lisa Zimmer, would not leave her alone.
I love Lisa.
And and I'm, that's hyperbole, but because of his efforts in Nashville, Tennessee, we get more unfiltered Pilsner Kel than like
the rest of the country. Probably
that's not exaggeration, and it's amazing, and it's all because of this one man. So don't ever forget the rest of America. Just keep hounding any social media beer people from any brewery from beer you want, and you too can make the dream happen. But I don't know if it's an evolution of my tastes or anything like that, but that's really where I'm so tired of these overly complex beers sometimes. Sometimes I just want to
absolutely
just crush. Yeah, man. And when they're really well done, it's just this, you just have this total appreciation for the beer that you normally would not get. So, that's one thing I'm truly thankful for. And really something that I've grown to love this year, personally in beer. So yeah.
Oh, and that place from Shelton Brothers you were talking about is Jing A.
The
Brewery.
Jing A, the
Chinese brewery.
Yeah.
What about the cherry wine?
Yeah, come on, dude. Get your mind right.
Frederiksdal.
Yes,
Bourbon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Here's a bourbon.
Your cherry veins.
Great, now we're banned wherever the hell that place is.
Yeah. Once again.
It's Netherlands or something.
Wow.
Denmark.
So yeah, those are all Sips and Suds ratings of 5.
Yes.
At least.
Plus. Thank you.
Good job, Sparky.
Very good. Very good. Okay, moving on. Reverend Mark.
Moving on.
Let's talk.
People, places, and things.
Moving
Let's
on
talk.
up to the Reverend Mark side.
All right. Well, good old boy Dave, you just stole my thunder, but I think that's why you're here, just to lead off. You're a little telepathic today, but because I would have put good old boy Mike as one of my top beer people this year as well. And I'm not sucking up just because I'm here on the show.
It's funny, we only say nice things about Mike when he's here or not here. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. Sorry, Tim, I drank it all.
Oh. Okay.
But
never mind.
But we've put a lot of
cup if you
we
want.
put a lot of beer miles together over the last not just 5 years, and Mike is also a dear family friend. So here's to Mike, and am really, really happy about everything that we've done together on this show. And all I can say is 2018 is going to be better. But back to 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, kind of coming off of what Sparky's just getting into about the simplicity of great beer. I really think that I'm in the same camp. Some days I come in and I really want to uncork something sour, something heady, something nuanced in 100 different ways. But then there are other days when an unfiltered Pilsner Urquell or being a home brewer, I guess I have to bring it back to this in terms of one of my great beer moments is that this summer I brewed my annual Bohemian Pilsner that my wife Elaine really, really liked.
Which is a Suds rating of 5, by the way.
Yeah.
That beer is outstanding.
And, just for me, I'm just kind of holding on to every little bottle that's left right now. I keg most of it, but
yeah.
So here's to simplicity. Here's to really good Wireman floor malted Pilsner malt that just a little bit of that and some carapils and some sauce hops and just a few other special techniques that homebrewers can do sometimes a lot easier. It's not the commercial. A lot of commercial brewers know to do it as well, but we because of the way we scale things, we're scaled. We can
some
do some other
homebrewers
things.
can.
Yeah. So that's a great beer. There's several local beers before I get to like my best beer for the year. And I don't know there is a best beer. But aside from the one that I brewed that I just talked about, the Bohemian Pilsner, I would say that one of my go-to beers.
We'll get back to it.
We'll have to get back to
just
this.
after
The
this.
suspense is killing me.
Oh, me too. What am I going to say?
That's the destination, but baby, the whole elation riding down this lover's avenue. As slow as the willow blows, or as fast as the whirlwind grows, we glide beneath the stars in cobalt blue. Look to the left, to the right, keep your eyes on the road, my darling, wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows, my hand is yours forever, sweet love. Our eyes ahead on these back roads with a view.
Welcome back, everyone. We are happily enjoying the best of 2017. We're doing a lot of reminiscing and, well, talking about family.
Slow blowing.
And yes, slow blowing willows. Anyways, good old boy Reverend Mark was talking about his best of 2017 before the brief interlude. So please continue, sir.
And a theme that we're following here right now is beautiful simplicity. And so I think another very beautiful, simple beer that was brewed as a one-off in Nashville this summer that became a staple of mine simply because one of my neighbors who is also a brewer there offloaded a case with me, and so. But it's
all breweries.
I was expecting this really sweet story. It's, I happen to get a case of it.
It just fell off the truck.
Yeah, just happened to be there.
Yeah,
but it's a wit beer that Yazoo put out called El Lagardo.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was amazing. It's an unfiltered wheat. Of course, wit beers are unfiltered, but so maybe that's a little redundant. It was spiced with what they were calling an Everglades herb mix. Basically a coriander, lemon,
swamp grass,
orange,
and
Swamp.
and sea salt.
oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
And it was a collaboration of sorts with a non-brewer / artist by the name of Elizabeth Cook, and who is host of Sirius's Apron Strings. And the proceeds from this local beer went to help musicians who have no health care insurance.
Oh, that's cool.
Through
Oh, that's awesome.
the Music Health Alliance.
so it's like 99% of musicians.
Yeah.
So every time you drank one, you were helping struggling musicians. I'm sold.
Man,
Yeah,
I think
you were
that this works.
helping the angel get their wings. You know,
Come over
So-
your house and we'll help out about a dozen musicians tonight
Yeah.
if you want.
I can,
Nashville needs more struggling musicians.
It's true.
You know, we just don't.
We're
have
reaching
enough.
out to you, America. Send
if-
us your struggling
send
musicians.
us your struggling.
Yes.
And if you can't get a contract, at least we can share a good beer or two with you. So.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll drink your way to good health.
But places, well, I went with 3 of you guys here at the table, you know, to GABF, and,
Some of the best
yeah,
ones.
yeah. And we've already done that show, and for me at least, the adventures that we had on the
I heard about those.
The zombie walk.
yes,
On the train,
Yeah.
off the train, zombie walk. Yeah.
So the GABF was very special. I didn't get to go to Shelton Brothers. I'm very, very envious all the things I heard about that. So I have to say, for me, and I don't get out much, hadn't gotten out much this year, was Nuit Belge. I just came across a ticket for that, and it's the first time since I've been in Nashville forever, of course, but the first time in Nashville that I have actually used an Uber. I've used them other places, but it was one of those nights where I said,
That's when you did
I'm
it
gonna-
right. God bless you, sir. Amen to that.
Reverend Mark's keeping it legal.
Nailed
Oh,
it.
man.
Nailed it.
That's awesome.
And it was such a good night. I even put on a suit. I said, I'm going to take an Uber and I'm going to wear a suit.
Damn, son. Nice.
And so, yeah, the beer was amazing, and
Oh,
the
the
food.
food.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the
Yeah,
one thing
you
that
can't beat
stuck. For some reason, I'm just still thinking back to this one rabbit slider.
Oh, cider.
I remember those.
I'd had OEC many times, but there was an actual keg of it there that nobody knew about. And I stood there for like an hour. My wife lost track of me because I
Tim's
refused
eyes
to
just
leave.
got really big.
Yeah, dude. I raided that keg. That was in my body. And nobody knew about it. Nobody knew. It was great.
Sparky was like, I want you inside me.
Oh, hey, honey.
Put you inside
Hey,
me.
it's good to see you, Abby. Love you. Mean it.
I wasn't talking to that keg, caressing it.
Not in love with the keg.
Yes.
But I've already gone online to see when those tickets go on sale in January, and so I'll.
I think you can get them now. I don't know. They might have shut that down. They did a Black Friday sale.
Ah.
I just checked Eventbrite. Nuit Belge tickets are on sale now.
Okay.
One quick last thing for 2017. Favorite person. Of course, Mike is on there. You're on the list, buddy. But since I get to bring someone else up, I will. Travis Hixon.
Oh, yeah.
Travis is a very good friend, and I have to say that I probably would not be even half the homebrewer I am if it wasn't for Travis Hixon. When I got into homebrewing, he was on my speed dial every time I was at my backyard for 6 hours. And anyway, we've known each other for a good long while. I was able to perform his wedding and have been with him through his many different sagas as a Zymergist of one kind or another. And he just recently landed a position, as we know, at Blackberry Farms as their head brewer.
Nice.
Oh, man, I met him this last week. I wasn't even
I was
down
just
there.
hanging out with him at
Yeah.
the brewery.
I didn't
As-
realize. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Good dude, man.
So Travis and I mean, I wouldn't know squat about beer if it wasn't for Travis. And
That's
so,
somebody good to learn from. So,
That's awesome, man.
very good.
That's
Good for
why
him.
your
I had no
beers are
idea.
so
He's a
good.
good guy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Good old boy Tim.
Alrighty. Well, so we'll start in the same
All right.
order.
Good old gal Julieanna.
All right. That was a good 2017. Thank you, everybody.
Fives all the way around.
I give that a Suds rating of 6.5.
And a half.
So for people, I'm going to give a shout out to all the peoples over at Scratch Brewing Company in Ava, Illinois. There you go.
That's a false high five from Sparky.
Dirt tastes like dirt and regret.
Yeah, well,
it's just one beer.
These are the days that we describe beers as horse blanket and cat piss, and so dirt is not a bad thing because it's natural.
It was like a 4 dirt.
Yeah, like a real dirt.
Real dirt.
Like
topsoil.
It wasn't like dirt extract. It was like real,
Exactly. That's the thing. They don't use the extract. No. They're above that.
That really dark, rich soil that grows stuff.
It's terroir.
A lot of 2017, good old boy Caperton and I, a couple of other good old boys and good old gals and I have made our journeys up to, or maybe over to Ava, Illinois, Southern Illinois. Yeah, it's just this gorgeous place, and Aaron and America and the whole Scratch crew. I don't know all their names, but it's familiar faces. It's the same.
They have goats.
5 or 6 people. Same 4 goats who just ask you for grass.
Which is weird because they
also
have goat pizza. So where are those?
Goat cheese pizza.
Oh, that's
right. So anyways, it's just this incredible place in the middle of nowhere. I've camped over there, and I just think they're doing such out-of-the-box things and kind of sticking to their guns, and I don't know. They just stand out in very unique, impressive ways. So, them's my peoples. I'm giving them a 5. Oh, God, that lingered. And as for places, I'll say I live here in Nashville. My family lives in South Carolina, so I go back and forth a lot. And Asheville is one of the middle areas. And aside from Asheville, a little north is Weaverville, where a lot of us know Zebulon Brewing Company is located. Oh! So the people there, Mike and Gabe, more than people, the place is awesome. It's this incredible tap room it's just kind of like a hole in the wall. It's in a garage of sorts. All the brewing stuff's right there. You bring your dog, you casually order beers and keep track in your head and pay as you go. And it's just such a cool place. And I think that Zebulon, they're doing a lot of historical beers, like they made a beer that would travel from England to Antarctica when they did the first Arctic missions. And so they had to make this 15% stout that would survive the journey. And they do all this crazy stuff that Ron Pattinson and a lot of their beer writers have kind of written about the historical recipes. And they just take, they kind of take things that no one's doing anymore and bring them back to life. And so in the day when I feel like a lot of people imitate and don't create their own identity, I think Zebulon is
and the way they dedicate each beer to a celebrity or musician, or
that is a really cool thing.
Match it to a song or something cool. It's
like when Prince passed away, did the beer for Prince.
Yeah.
And my thing, well, I don't know if this is a thing or a place. Another quick one, just a quick shout out to the Shelton Brothers Festival.
Yeah.
Echo what Sparky said.
Hey, Shelton Bros before Shelton Hoes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. But really, I mean, the Shelton Brothers, I didn't go to the year previous, and so I can't speak to one versus the other. But the layout and everything's incredible, and just the people that show up and the beers they brought. And I mean, you hear the word Cantillon and Dree and everything thrown around, and those lines were long, and so you don't need to stand in them and get everything. But I had Cantillon Iris from 2007 that was just freaking amazing. And this beer was made 10 years ago. It was bottled 10 years ago. So it was made 12, 13 years ago, maybe only 11. It just was so incredible that before anything of American, I mean, the Belgians have been doing it for hundreds of years, but still, to have a beer that was 10 years old that was just so complex still, I don't know. It just made the whole festival good for me.
Yeah,
so
good.
Well, should we discuss the Lectio Divina?
Yes,
quickly?
We should. From Julieanna's second husband, which she would prefer to be her first husband.
Well, it's just the order that you meet people.
Well, that's true.
I'll say that this beer, it's Saint Somewhere's Lectio Divina, and I think it's an incredible beer. We're all beer geeks here, but you don't always hang out with beer geeks, so it's interesting to give these really funky beers to people who don't know them.
That's one of the best things ever.
It really is, man, and you can just blow people's minds, expand their horizons, and enjoy the
see how they react to them. It's like, what do you taste in this? I don't know. So half the people I was with, it's 6 people total, and I was the only big beer drinker, and only half of them liked this beer, and the other half, to be honest, hated it. Like, they couldn't deal with it.
They can't hang with the big boys.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I was just grateful because I didn't have to give
Tim
more
left
to
those
them.
people
Yeah.
in,
No, they're great people to have because they don't drink the good beer. They leave it for you. So
They soak up the
just
Bud
kind
Light
of sitting in the mountains in North Carolina. It's these lakes that are very high altitude and kind of overlooking the Smokies. And was grateful because I wasn't near any of you all. And it's just kind of having good beer with good people and spreading the gospel of good beer. And I think Saint Somewhere does things right. And so showing them these are the breweries to support. These are the people that are on the cutting edge.
All right. So enough of that. Let Julieanna wax on about Bob Sylvester. It's all coming. We know it's happening. So.
You have a certain glimmer in your eye there.
Okay, so I'll be really quick, but
I doubt that.
people, it was nice to actually meet Bob this year. And for those of you that don't know, I do have a love affair with Mr. Sylvester, but I love what he does.
I'm okay with it, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that he's been doing this for so long in a state that is very hot, very humid, hasn't had a lot of this style of beer. And I'm amazed and blown away by his consistency and his dedication and effort into all of his beers that he makes. And I just think it's really cool. Okay, so then in terms of places, my place and my beer are going to be together. This isn't necessarily the best beer that I've ever had, but I really enjoyed the post-excursion from the Beer Bloggers Convention that went to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I was blown away by, the love and care of all the breweries that we went to and what they're putting out in Grand Rapids. It just blew me away. Great community. There's a lot of really amazing breweries that are there. And then on top of that, at 10 o'clock in the morning, here we are in
Drunkish.
what was...
Oh, sorry.
No. Not yet. However, we were getting there, but no, not yet. But the really kind people of Grand Rapids opened us up to Brewery Vivant at 10 o'clock in the morning. This place is a converted
Funeral parlor
/ chapel.
What?
Yes.
My kind of place.
Yeah,
No.
that's where I like to throw down.
Okay, but it was
Okay.
It was a really cool experience, and the beer that they're making there is really extraordinary.
Good place for a stiff drink. Yeah. If I could
Wow.
drop this mic, I would.
I just never realized that you could turn a hearse into a draft mobile. That's kind of
Okay,
messed up too.
but it was a beautiful place. It really was. The beer there was outstanding. I mean, they're doing such a great job, and it's very traditional, very true to style. What we're drinking today at the table is the Escoffier, which I just think it's awesome. I'm, of course, giving this beer a 5, and just giving that whole experience a 5. And in terms of events, I'm going to say it's a combination of the Shelton Brothers Festival, because we love what they do. We love the brewers and the fact that you can talk to the brewers. It's a type of festival that you go for if you have a passion for craft beer, and if you have a passion for beer in general. This is a really great festival to go to, because you are able to speak to the people that are actually making it. They're from all over the world, and you're able to experience that in one place. I think is just astoundingly awesome. And this is a shout out. I'm not in love with Matt Leff, but I really, really enjoy.
no Bob
Please don't give him any more credit.
But I really, truly enjoy what he does, and the festivals that we have. We are so lucky to have somebody that puts on such diverse but really good festivals in our area.
That's right. Who else would pour you a mug of 12% Imperial Stout?
Dude, 17%. And I'm not just saying that because Kendall's here. I just really, truly appreciate what he does.
Absolutely.
For us here in the Southeast. It's just awesome.
We take pride in what we do. It's a pleasure to be a part of Matt's crew.
I know, but it's just, his vision is just awesome. And please don't ever stop doing what you're doing, because it's really, really good. But before we leave, I want to give whenever anyone does a best of 17, it's always the good things. But this is memory eternal to Missy Lane. Memory eternal.
Cheers.
She'll always be with us.
Yes.
Cheers.
She was part of the best of.
Exactly. So, that being said, we are done for the day. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can catch all of our episodes online as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes, Google Play, and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sip Suds Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com.
Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter and Instagram every day at Sip Suds and Smokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
Please take this time to review this episode, or please take this time to rate this episode. Not review it.
5 stars.
Yes. If you're going to listen online, damn it, rate it a 5.
Good old boy Kendall, please tell us a bit about your blog.
My wife and I blog about good news of good beer at beermakes3.com, and by the time you're hearing this, you should see my interview with Frank Boon.
No pressure.
Thank you all. Thank you all for being here today. Good old boy Dave.
Hey, check me out on Instagram at Good Old Boy Dave. I do 60-second beer reviews every day.
Good old boy Kendall.
Cheers. It's been a pleasure. It's been a great year. I'm looking forward to 2018.
Good old boy Sparky.
Please don't Google Sparky online. That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, that might be. Good old boy Reverend Mark.
So good to be here. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but right here, right now.
Good old boy Tim.
And I also want to nominate good old boy Dave for best of... worst of 2017 sound effects.
He has the worst accents of all time.
He does, doesn't he?
It hurts.
F you, you little girl.
He needs an intervention. It's coming in 2018.
This is good old gal Julieanna. Keep on chuggling. Enjoy the holidays with your loved ones, and see you next year.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip Suds and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.